many Lucille's over the decades, but the first, a $30 acoustic, was named 50 years ago when BB King was playing an Arkansas juke joint just south of Memphis. The place went up in flames after two men who were fighting knocked over a kerosene heater.
Everybody started to run for the front door, including BB King. But when I got on the outside, I realized I didn't have my guitar. Building was a wooden building burning rapidly, so I went back in. The building started to collapse around me. So I almost lost my life trying to save my guitar. The next morning we found that these two guys were fighting about a lady. I never did meet her, but I learned that her name was Lucille.
By the late 40s, he'd left his hometown of Itabena in the Delta for good, opting for the bright lights of Memphis just up the Mississippi.
It must have seemed like the city of Oz to him to come from Itabena and land in Memphis in 1949, a huge city where black people had money, where black people had some privilege.
Once in Memphis, King quickly landed a job as a DJ at WDIA, a station that broadcast to the black community. Behind the mic, King, whose given first name is Riley, picked up the name BB for Blues Boy. And most importantly, Memphis is where he created his own style from the country blues he knew back home.
Most of the blues singers usually have a bottleneck that they put on the finger and they can use it. Well, I've got stupid fingers that I could never get them to do anything there. But I like that sound. So to me it would sound like that.
That vibrato.
That vibrato. But I don't do it like a lot of people think. They think I shake my whole hand, but it's just the wrist and this part. And I can sustain the tone for a long time. So I hear a sound, and I still try. For example, I could do that with your guitar, or with his or hers. It's sort of like an old piano sitting up in the corner. If Oscar Peterson played it, he'd sound like Oscar Peterson. Ray Charles played it, he'd sound like him. So it's sort of the same thing with guitar. I think you play from your soul, what you feel.
You alternate between guitar and human voice.
Right.
You sing, you play.
Right.
You sing, you play.
I still hear myself singing when I'm playing.
Can you give us an example?
Well, for example, nobody loved me but my mother, and she could be jiving too. That.
Did you begin that? Were you the first to do that?
I never heard anybody else do it before I did, so I can't say I was, but most people think I was.
Let's take the guitar and the voice and your life experience, and let's put them all together.
I believe this truly, that the musician, serious musician, sings or play an instrument from what he feels inside. I'd say from the heart. And when you're doing that, if something is not so good, like I was teasingly on the song saying nobody loved me but my mother, many times I've felt like that because things wasn't going well at all. Many times I felt like, what am I living for? It don't seem to be of any interest to anyone, not even myself. So you then take your instrument. I guess people use the word feeling sorry for yourself. Maybe that is. But a lot of people think that when you play blues, it's only because you blue. I can play blues and feel better, because blues to me is sort of like a tonic. It's good for whatever ails you. And the sound sounds pretty good to me. It comes pretty good to my ears.
Sounds pretty good to everybody else, too.
I think what sets B's style apart is the economy and the emotion that he puts in each lick. I'm sure that he was influenced by people when he was growing up, but I still, to my ears, I've never heard anybody as unique as BB. His vibrato and his tone is just, it's as close to the human heart as you can get.
If you really want to learn how to play the blues, just watch BB King. All guitar players who play today, they got something from him. And I got 90% of mine from him, or maybe even more. And I love him to death.
His life has prepared him to be BB King. And of course, he defines his music. He's our most, I think, iconic blues man.
In the history of blues, you can't think of a single figure who's had more importance, who's been more dominant. But the guy remains exactly who he was to begin with. Real, authentic, down to earth, and connected to his original artistic vision.
When we come back, why joy and pain coexist so beautifully in the blues. BB King's lesson for the next generation.
I would like them to know it, I know about it, know why we do it,